Hi, everyone. Welcome to our first ever episode of the Tualatin Talks Podcast. I am one of your two hosts, Ali Marks. I am a co-chair on the Youth Advisory Council and a senior at Tualatin High School.
And I am your other host. My name is Kate Phipps. I am also a senior at Tualatin High School, and I am on the Tualatin Youth Advisory Council's advisory board as our records coordinator. And today we are here to interview our very good friend, Raymond Arias. Raymond, would you please introduce yourself?
Hello, everyone. My name is Raymond Arias. I'm also a senior at Tualatin High School, and I've just been generally involved in the community the past couple of years, and that's why I'm here. So I'm happy to share and answer the questions that you guys have.
So Raymond, I'm really excited actually for you to be like our first guest because you're one of those people that I've known for a long time, but I've always just wanted to get to know why you're as great as you are. I know I like to mess around with you, but you are one of those rare people that, you are one of those rare people that I think are just so genuinely hardworking. And I was just curious if you want to talk to some of your accomplishments that you've made over the years and why you feel maybe so driven to succeed as much as you do.
I would say one of my biggest achievement by far was getting onto ASB the first year, just because student council and student leadership has always been like a big passion of mine. But I participated in many different things like throughout elementary school. But I don't know if you all know, but for the listeners, I moved here from Southern California beginning of my sixth grade because my mom got remarried. And that was a big adjustment for me because I had always lived there my whole life for the first 11 years of my life. And it was just a big shift of culture because over in the city I used to live in, there was a bunch of people who look like me, to put it simple. So a lot of Hispanic people. I was very comfortable in the neighborhood I was in. I was very comfortable with all my classmates and stuff. But when I came up here, it was just a huge change in demographics and just, I guess, customs overall. So of the series, I guess for most of middle school, I battled a lot with having self-confidence and belief in myself that I could, be in those positions that I always wanted to be in, which throughout student council and stuff like that, because I just kind of saw it as something unattainable because I didn't really necessarily see the same representation I would have seen if I would have stayed in California. So yeah, that's why I didn't run my 8th grade year as you did, Ali, because I was just very nervous and about how I just didn't believe it was possible for a student like me to get on, because first I wasn't very well known, and also I just didn't have the confidence in myself to rally a good group of people to vote for me. So but yeah, freshman year I just decided to run, even though the same circumstances were there. I just decided to run because I was screw it, my little brother had just been born my 8th grade year. So something that's always been important to me is just trying to be a good example for him. So that's something definitely that I didn't want to live with regret. I wanted my little brother to grow up knowing that, I took chances and I want him to take some too. So I would say that's my biggest accomplishment. And, the others that follow have just been thanks to that.
Even though you're not necessarily a Tualatin native, you haven't been here your entire life, and for the majority of your childhood you weren't here, what would you say made you drawn to the place you live in your community despite not being from here, and despite how you didn't necessarily feel that you matched the majority demographic, and how that was a challenge for you at times?
I guess I would just say inspired again by I kind of found solace a little bit in being different. So I just kind of took it, use the examples ahead of me. I know my friend Darian really pushed me a lot to also help me out, and he kind of made me see that it was possible because he's also has similar circumstances. But so yeah, I just developed an appreciation for the Tualatin community because once I developed like a little bit of self-confidence, I was able to see like how much good there is, like and that just like sparked my involvement in the community overall, and I was able to meet like very like-minded and ambitious people once I got on ASB. So that just even pushed like my commitment further into like club stuff around the school, like specifically like Key Club, volunteering in general. So yeah, I just became very like, once you're in a group that's has the same ambitions and like work really hard, just pushes you to another gear. So I was able to have some great examples in ASB. So yeah, that's what ultimately was able to develop my love for the Tualatin community. And I'm so glad that I've been able to develop that, because I quite frankly don't know where I would have been if things didn't work out. But yeah.
Yeah, and just for people who are listening who aren't familiar with what ASB is, it stands for Associated Student Body, which is our main leadership group through Tualatin High School. And so I think what you were talking about with joining a lot of these groups, between the Advisor Council, the Associated Student Body, I know you personally are on the Oregon Associated Student Council. You were as president for a year. And so a lot of these organizations are so focused on, especially right now, the issue of social justice. And I know that's one of our main points of this interview this series of the Tualatin Talks, is to get voices amplified that might not otherwise have the ability to. And so I was curious what one particular, not necessarily social justice issue, but as youth in this world, what is like one issue facing youth currently that you feel passionate about?
I do feel really passionate about racial justice. Like throughout my term, when in the middle of the summer, when things started going on about George Floyd and all the injustices against people of color and stuff, I was just heartbroken, and I wanted to find a way to use my positions around the community to be able to mobilize some genuine and concrete efforts that will result in real solutions to the problems we have. So yeah, I've been working on a project for OSC even like past my term that we were able to kind of galvanize around this issue, or at least I was very passionate, and I was able to connect with one of the consultants, the Native consultants. His name is Justin Lowe, and we were able, and he's also shared similar experiences to mine about how he grew up in Oregon City, and he went to Oregon City High School, and he had a series of racial injustices happening to him when he was in high school. Thankfully, I never had that. He was bullied for being different. So we came up with this plan with a series of other coalitions around the state. And so basically the gist of it is that we've been able to come up with a bill that seeks to establish a racial and equity student council across the state, which will, if passes this upcoming February, will work in hand with the governor's office to oversee educational policy, which I think is something that's very crucial and something that was very important to me, because, again, I guess like some of the insecurity when I came here first was like, again, lack of representation. And sometimes you don't necessarily, as a person of color, get to hear like your history as much. So that's something that was very important to me, and something that I've been blessed to be a part of. That's why sometimes I have to skip out on some of the YAC meetings, because we've been working on this project all the way since August. So that's a project I've been very fond of and have been contributing a lot of my time to. Another brief one is running the pageants directorship in ASB, because that's something that's very near and dear to my heart, because my little brother used to get treated in Dornbecker. So it's very heartwarming, or very fulfilling to me to be able to help out students help out little kids like my little brother. So yeah.
Do you want to talk more about I don't remember exactly what you called it, like you're trying to establish like a coalition, or like a board of students that discuss topics like racial injustice? Is that something that is just for like leaders, or like if you were going to be sharing with our viewers that like share the same passion for contributing to social justice and change in the same way you are, like how would you encourage them to get involved? Is that like something in the future that they could be a part of, or like other ways that, you know, that people can have an outlet for this passion the same way you do?
Yeah, so the way that just like a little bit expanding on the bill itself, we're trying to establish the official, I guess, name for it would be a Racial and Equity Student Council that is kind of comprised in the same way that OASC is comprised. So it would be like representatives all across the state. So it would be like a Northwest representative, a Northeast representative, Southern representative, and so on and so on. And the way we're trying to do it, we've been having workshops and summits recently, trying to gather just recommendations and suggestions from students across the state. So we recently, last week, had a workshop where we had students come and give their take on the bill itself, because we want to make sure that this bill, if it does pass, it isn't just something that like the department, because we have been working with the Department of Education on this, so we want to make sure that's not like something that's just like ticked off, like, okay, we have this racial equity student council, but we're not really going to take their suggestions seriously, and we're going to we want to make sure that these experiences from students aren't tokenized. So that's something that we've been doing just to get involved in general. I think the best thing to do is just, again, if you are passionate about it, I feel like there's always outlets to make sure to let your passion become like something real, because you just have to look for the people. Like you can start off really small. Like I know like one of our good friends from all of us, Matthew Brown, he was very passionate about trying to create like a more equitable and representative school board, that try to create more like favorable like school board policy. So he and a couple of other students kind of came together and created the Tualatin Talks Student Union. So I think you just have to find, again, your group of people, and anything's possible with the strength in numbers. So yeah,
I think a lot of the point of these organizations that are so amazing for young people like us to join are to better prepare us for the future and give us an outlet to create change at a young age that's going to expand to the future. And with that, I think Kate can definitely relate, and I know 100% you can relate, Raymond. The main question that we're being asked right now is like, free college student, is what are our plans for the future? And I was wondering, what are your plans for the future? Do you plan on, continuing this fight for a more equitable community? And have your plans changed much with COVID and all that?
Yeah, my plans definitely have changed. Like for example, just because like the financial impact that COVID-19 has had on my family, I actually I can't go to college next year just because I have to support them financially. So I was able to, I have to, although I'm blessed to do that, to be able to be in a position where I am able to support my family. I'm obviously like missing out on some time with, getting that full college experience, but I am looking forward to like, in terms of just myself, like becoming more independent, and, now having the time, since I won't be I am going to be applying next year to go to college for, the class of 2026 for college. But I am looking forward to, having a year off where I know like a huge problem for some students is that they go to college, they make this huge investment, they take out student loans, and they don't necessarily know what to do. And they just waste a bunch of money and years following like majors that they're not even interested in, or they don't know they're interested in. So I guess I am looking forward to that, because I'm trying to right now see if I can get some jobs in like working perhaps as like an internship for the Oregon Department of Education, since I have been working with them a lot, and also perhaps some local offices where I can get firsthand experience to see if like maybe like public service is something I want to continue to do like as a main priority, rather than like just like as a, I guess like a second sort of thing, like a hobby, I guess, if you can call it that. So I am looking forward to do that in that sense, and that's how my plans have changed. What was the other part of your question? Sorry.
No, I was curious about your plans for the future as well, which you kind of touched on a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I am happy that again I will be able to help out my family like that, and I guess I'm trying to see it in a good light because you know, I know a lot of friends that are going off to college, and I know that it will be like a little bit lonely, I guess that's the best word I can say, but I think that I try to see it as an opportunity to grow again, and you know, to be over on the long haul. I think it'll be a good thing because I have faith in that it'll all work out. So
you talked a little bit earlier too, like now we're on the idea of just like being a senior and preparing for the future, and you talked earlier about how like your confidence was kind of something that you really had to grow into, and something that really propelled you to be more ambitious in what you did. And so if you could maybe like give your freshman self some advice, and like kind of reflecting on how you've grown over like your high school experience, what do you think you would tell maybe your like incoming freshman year Raymond self?
Just try anything and everything, because you know, the more you put yourself out there, the more experience you'll get in, you know, whether that be through leadership, whether it just be like finding out things that you want to do. So I just say like just try anything and do everything, because you know, at the end of the day, like, you know, I haven't seen like people that I've seen in high school or that I've like grown up with high school for like almost a year now. So their opinion at the end of the day doesn't really matter. So just do what makes you happy.
Well, you heard it here first from Raymond, everybody. Do what makes you happy. And Raymond, thank you so very much for joining us today. And we're so glad that you could be on our very first Tualatin Talks podcast. And this has been Kate Phipps.
And Ali Marks. Thank you, everyone. Salutes.